is a great gift too. What about the grumpy old man syndrome? How can a woman really prevent or solve that?
Well, you know, doctors used to think that older men were grumpy because they didn't have enough testosterone, which to some degree is true. But they can be quite aggressive if they're taking testosterone shots or testosterone and human growth hormone, which my husband was given. It was prescribed by his doctor, and it made him violent. So if your guy is over 60 and he's either taking testosterone or he's thinking about it, and particularly in a combination with human growth hormone, you really want to research this. You really want to understand this. Because for some people, this is wonderful. And I know one friend of mine in New York who says it's the best thing that ever happened to him. He's, I guess in his late 70s, early 80s by now, and his girlfriend is much, much younger. But at the same time, his family members didn't seem to be that thrilled with his behavior when he was chasing me around the room. So you have to really be careful about it. Seriously.
Well, Susan, please now tell us about the health benefits of sex, please.
Okay, guys. Okay, this is important. So the first one is that it keeps your immune system strong. Everybody wants a strong immune system, but that's really what's remarkable. And you have to do everything else to keep your immune system strong, but this has a huge, huge benefits. And that means that your body can defend itself against germs. And this is according to research at U of P, University of Pennsylvania. And they did research with young people, in this case with college students, who had sex once or twice a week, and they had higher levels of a certain antibody compared to the students that didn't have sex. That's very, very crucial. Number two, it boosts your libido, so the more sex you have, the more sex you want to have. So that's a self-fulfilling process. You know, how great is that? Have more sex, want more sex, have more sex, want more sex, and it's doing all the other 9 things for your body, for your health. So you want to do that. Number 3, it's exercise. Sex is great exercise. And if you're a woman and you're with somebody who's very athletic, this is a blessing. Because you don't have to do as much because he's an athletic guy and he wants to show you how athletic he is, right? So you won't get as much exercise, but you'll have a lot more relaxation. And what this report says, and it's from WebMD, it says that sex uses 5 calories per minute, whereas watching television only uses 1 calorie per minute. So that's huge. And then it goes on to say, like exercise, consistency helps maximize the benefits. So what he's saying is have sex and have more sex and have more sex and enjoy all of it. Number 6, it lowers the heart attack rate. This is huge because it says that during one study, men who had sex at least twice a week were half as likely to die of heart disease compared to men who rarely had sex. That is really, really huge because it helps keep your estrogen and your testosterone levels in balance. So this is really big. And avoid osteoporosis and avoid death from heart disease or heart disease itself. Lessening pain. Orgasm can block pain. And that's quite remarkable because it releases a hormone that helps raise the pain threshold. And even if you're just having sex and you don't complete the process with an orgasm, it still does that. Stimulation can be great for women in terms of blocking pain, even blocking pain for men for menstruation. That's amazing, right? So who doesn't want to help their partner avoid pain? And particularly if they've got their period and it hurts, there you go. Stimulate her. She's going to thank you in so many ways. May make prostate cancer less likely. Now, this is according to the AMA journal. So this is a serious research study. And men need to ejaculate 20 times a month or more. 20 times a month or more. So do the math. You know how many days are in the month? Approximately 30, right? And they were so much less likely to get prostate cancer. And it's any kind of sex. So you don't need a partner for that. It's any kind of sex. So reminding you that having sex, if you're a guy, is really crucial. It improves sleep. Well, you know, because if you've ever been with a guy who has an orgasm, you try to keep him awake for a while. Good luck with that. So you know that it increases everybody's desire for sleep and gives them a better, deeper sleep. And it eases stress. That having a partner who's physically near you, or having a partner that you can feel close to, even if that partner isn't physically near you, is a wonderful, wonderful boost to eliminating stress in your body. And we know that all disease is caused by stress. So don't forget all of these, and make sure you do what you have to do to find a wonderful partner. If you want to talk to me about how to find your perfect life partner, give me a call.
What a healthy appetite indeed, and so many benefits. Thank you, Susan. Now, it used to be said that men reach their sexual peak, let's say, in their teens, and women, I believe it's in their 30s, and now scientists have discovered that this is not true, right?
What a blessing, right? All you guys walking around with a complex once you hit 35. It's not true. And of course, now, even if it were true, it doesn't matter, because there are so many fantastic sexual aids for guys. There are incredible sexual aids for guys, and we're going to cover that later in the show. So be sure that you're aware of this. You know, everything from Viagra to a penis pump, you name it. So there's no reason at all for anybody watching this show, or if you know somebody who you wish they were watching this show with you, make sure you share it with them, because everyone can have the most wonderful sexual experience that they want in this day and age if they want it. And why wouldn't you want it? What could be more important?
Everybody's getting excited hearing all these great causes also. Now, what about the age of an older successful man? How do you soothe that? Because these are men that are used to having things go their way.
So if you're talking about an older man, you have to be very sensitive and caring yourself. You know, that's why so many of these older guy, younger women relationships don't actually last. And the reason that they start up in the first place is that an older guy needs to be aroused, and an older guy needs to be stimulated, and he needs more stimulation than a young guy who basically doesn't need any stimulation at all. You just show up whoever you are, and that's fine for most young guys. But for an older man, it's a different story. So it may seem like a great idea. You know, you're young, you're beautiful, you have a perfect body, all of that's working. But if you're not compassionate, if you're not empathetic, if you don't show him your heart, if you don't show him your soul, he's not likely to stay for the long run, because that's what an older man needs. He needs somebody who's actually present with him, who's somebody who's actually able to share something with him, even if it's for just one night, but to share feelings and experience, and also be there for him emotionally during sex. This is something that a young guy probably didn't care about at all, but the same guy when he gets older really does care.
Now, after a certain age, men like women have baggage. Now, how can a woman actually help an older man let go of his baggage?
Well, you really want somebody to be able to turn the corner on his stuff from the past. And the first thing you need to do is you need to be sure that you have. You know, it's really important that you have turned the corner on your stuff, and you can really be present. And God knows how many decades I've worked on this myself, and how many people have trained me in different ways, and here in America and in India, etc. So it takes a lot of work to let go of the past, put the past in the past, which is what I say about it, and be able to live in the present, and be able to create the future for yourself and somebody. And all of this inner work is described in other shows that we've done, or again, reach out to me in an email, a text, or a phone call, and we'll talk about it. But you have to be the example, because if you're with someone who's much older than you, or you're with someone who's not as committed to enlightenment as you may have been if you're in California, then you have to be the example. You can only lead by example. You cannot lead by demands.
Now, what about widowers? I was going to say warriors, but widowers. There are so many of these men who are so completely unprepared to lose their wives in this way, and they may shut down their heart to try to protect themselves after the loss. And so what can a woman really do to help the man open up again?
Yeah, first of all, I was surprised at how many widowers there are. I was really, really shocked because, of course, we hear the story about the woman having a longer lifespan. But in fact, now asking people, working with older people, both men and women, asking them about their friends in town and Los Angeles and really all over the country, I was amazed. So you could easily meet a widower. Now, a lot of women think a widower is the solution to all my problems because there's no ex-wife, the children don't resent me, so it looks really appealing. It can be, but what you really need to look for is a man who doesn't have baggage anymore. A man who's done his inner work or is willing to do his inner work now because he's so captivated by you, and therefore he's very quickly going to turn the corner on all of this. And a widower can have just as much baggage. There was a wonderful movie with Marsha Mason. It was a Neil Simon one. It's, gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but you'll easily find it on IMDb. She's married to James Caan, whose first wife died. And it is hilarious, because it's not happening to you. He doesn't realize that he's set up their honeymoon in exactly the same place he took his first wife. Because he thought it was such a great place. He thought, well, let's go. You know, I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. As only Neil Simon could describe it, really hilarious. And so you want to be aware of what your guy is going through. That's the bottom line here.
Thank you, Susan. So shutting down can actually happen to anyone with any sort of heartbreak. So how can a woman go about helping an older man that she truly does care about?
Well, empathy, you know, empathy is the secret. I can only imagine that when Barbara passed away, and it happened so quickly, that you felt devastated because you had planned to spend the rest of your life with her. Is that how it felt for you? And he'll say whatever he says, you know? And, oh, okay, so you also were so shocked because now your children wouldn't have a mother, and two of your children were quite young. And so you were desperate to find a solution that would give them the maternal, loving support they needed. Is that what you wanted me to know? So just empathy. You know, you don't have to be psychic. You don't have to guess what's true and what's not true. But if you say something like I just said, and you really are in your heart when you say it, then that's what counts. That's what a man is looking for.
Empathy is very powerful, Susan. As you know, you're the developer of self-empathy, so we can go forward.
Thank you.
That was a gift.